we're looking for in this B final. Positions 7 through 12 on the line here for the Petite, but a great lineup that we have ahead of us here with just our last crew looking to get locked on in that center lane. In lane 1, it'll be the crew from Boston University, coxswain James Smith, and stroke seat Filippo de Marsignac from London in the UK. A couple seniors on board as well, Bowen DeGao out of Auckland, New Zealand, Tucker Thomas and Hurst Thompson, all seniors for the Terriers. Next to them in lane 2, it's Stanford, coxswain Gabrielle Zammit and stroke seat Philip Wolfsenberger, freshman out of London in the UK as well. No seniors on board for Stanford, so a very young crew in this men's 2V. Bronze medal for them at the MPSF Championship a few weeks ago. What do they have in their hand for this petite final at the IRA? In the middle lane, Princeton, silver medal for them at EARCs a few weeks ago. So again, I think pretty disappointed to find themselves in this B final here. Your coxswain Joseph Kutiaya out of Bronxville, New York, and your stroke seat Matt Cashman, a freshman, with his twin brother, it appears, Dan Cashman, both from Brisbane, Australia. In lane 4, Northeastern, 8th place for them at the Eastern Sprints. Again, disappointed to be on the wrong side of a very narrow margin. Seems to be the story of the year for this Northeastern program, just knocking on the door for all of these A finals at these big races, but continuing to gain some traction and pick up momentum in this Husky program. Coxswain Nick Walding for the Huskies, and stroke seat Luke Hickling, another freshman stroke seat out of Christchurch, New Zealand. Next to them, the crew from Pennsylvania, coxswain Nicola Hadian out of San Diego, California, your senior leader in that coxswain seat, and stroke seat Cole Ridinger out of Winnetka, Illinois. Rounding out the field, the crew from Dartmouth, coxswain Connor Shaheen, your senior out of Kensington, Maryland, and looking deep into the eyes of Francesco Dembinski, your junior stroke seat out of Craryville, New York. What do you think, Dave? Great field we have.
Yeah, I think what we're really seeing is the parity that's happening throughout the league, and the depth as there are more and more international students coming to the United States to get their educations and to have some fun in the world of rowing in the collegiate level. And that's probably what we're seeing that's driving all the records that we're seeing here today, as well as this intense competition. That's been a progression over the last several decades, where all of the races are just getting closer and closer and closer. Who knows where that ends? I mean, the men's eights are already sort of encroaching upon international times. After all, the world's best is 5:18. So, you know, if we go into the 5:20s, you're in pretty rare territory.
Yeah, you really are. And we're just seeing the margins between all the events start to shrink too. You and I were talking off mic about that. But we are underway here. Let's focus in on our student athletes racing down the track. A nice, even start.
It looks like they're still at the stake boat. I mean, there is nothing in it.
Yeah, it's really even, especially in those middle 4 lanes. Our crews from Stanford, Princeton, Northeastern, and Pennsylvania. Maybe just the crew on the near side from Dartmouth, a little bit sleepier out of the blocks for the big green, but maybe just getting the best of it now. Is it this crew from Stanford just starting to show, second from the bottom of your picture, getting the advantage over the crew from Princeton? I think it might just be just a slight advantage for the Cardinal, but ever so close between themselves and the Tigers, as Princeton are now just striding out into their mid-rates here.
Northeastern at 37 looks pretty good over there in lane 4. Princeton certainly in lane 3, looking to maybe get their bow out in front. I think they've got half a deck, but there is the slimmest of margins.
Yeah, I mean, these special team strokes that get you out of the blocks, and then you have to use some pretty technical and savvy ability to transfer that speed that you build, kind of building up in those start sequences into the kind of mid phase where you're shifting back down into your base pace. Well, if you have one, we have some teams that don't necessarily do that, but it is a trick to kind of manage the boat speed and make sure the boat's not dropping too much as you bring the stroke rate down to a little bit more manageable and sustainable pace. Looks like Princeton has done that the best here with a very slender lead over the rest of the field, just leading Northeastern and Stanford.
Princeton has about a half a boat length on Boston University, who is in 6th place. So that tells you how tight the field is.
Yeah, it's awfully tight, and we're seeing some pretty quick times over that first 500 meters. It was Princeton across first in a 1:20.4. So blistering first 500 from the Tigers here and continuing to lead the way through the second 500. But, well, let's throw a blanket over the rest of those field, the rest of the athletes in this field, because it's awfully close between these crews from Stanford, Princeton, Northeastern, and Penn. Princeton just continuing to lead. Will they take it all the way to the halfway here before we can reset and then charge to the line? It's
Princeton's at 37.5, and they've got a little bit better base speed, just ever so slightly, but they're kind of creeping away without any distinct move. It's just the speed of their boat is just a little bit better than that of Stanford. And Stanford and Northeastern are kind of knocking on the door for second. Pennsylvania over there right level with Northeastern. So fight for second is heating up, but nobody seems to really be making any impact on the lead that Princeton has been able to get. Probably that length is not quite a half a boat length. It's more like a third of a boat length.
Well, I think this shot that we're getting on the side from the drone might be a little deceptive. I think it might be closer than that. When we were looking at the overhead shot, we had a little bit more accurate sense of just how close it is between Princeton and Stanford. At the front of the field, it looked like Stanford really laid down a big challenge in that second 500 meters, but now we're looking at the crew from Northeastern, hungry to come away with that win in the petite final here after just missing out on a narrow advancement into the A final yesterday. Let's not rule out the Huskies, who are going to be out on a tear against this crew from Princeton, also just missing out. So here we are looking at our race leaders from Princeton have done so well in this first 1,000 meters, but the rest of the field is charging up at Princeton as they come by the yacht club now. It is awfully close, Dave. And there you go. This overhead shot, I think, gives you a better idea. Look at Stanford really pressing hard against this Tiger crew. There's your Stanford crew now. Just, are they in first or second? It's so close to call. You can see all these guys just really trying to keep their heads in the boat. We're not taking any looks out right now because the margin is absolutely paper thin. Maybe just a seat or two for Princeton as they've responded now.
With this tailwind, they're in the unusual position of not being able to really feel as tired as they should after 1,500 meters. So they're trying to figure out how to get going faster. Northeastern is doing a little bit of that right now. Princeton still holding on to a deck length, maybe two-seat lead, something very small. Stanford and Northeastern pressing hard.
Yeah, let's not rule out Northeastern because here come the Huskies. They are chasing hard against this Stanford crew right now and seeing what they can do just to make an impact on this Princeton crew. Little bit of dirty water. You can see all of the splashing coming off of the blades here in that Princeton boat and the Northeastern boat as well. Northeastern continuing to make progress incrementally here in this third 500, and look at this charge on the outside.
It's Dartmouth coming up. Dartmouth has found their legs in the last 500. Is that too late? We're already into the red buoys. It's time to go. If you're going to go ever, it's got to be now.
Yeah, Dartmouth and Penn coming right along with them, but it's so close between.
Closing the gap on Princeton. And Princeton, Stanford, and Northeastern, it's going to be a blanket finish.
Yep, Northeastern finding the momentum as well, seeing if they can't draw level with our race leaders right up to the line. Princeton has done so well to lead. It's going to be a photo finish, but I think they have just done it. I think it was a deck for Princeton and too close to call between Northeastern and Stanford.
I'd take the chance to say it was Stanford taking second with Northeastern in third.
Oh, gosh, what a great race. Furious racing between these men's 2Vs in this petite final. Very quick times. We're looking at Princeton, 5:34.5.